grow in grace and knowledge in seeking to love God's law. Now, the first time there was a little bit of a trial or difficulty came their way, they begin to think, where's God? Why has God allowed this to happen? And why has he brought us out here? Why can't we go back to Egypt and have the garlic and the leeks and the flesh pots of Egypt? They began to look back to the world. So what's the lesson for us? What is the obvious lesson as we leave these days of unleavened bread? Is it to look at getting back into the world? Well, obviously not. It is obviously to take the wonderful, refreshing, uplifting lessons we've learnt through these days of unleavened bread to positively take on that challenge of remaining unleavened and growing even in becoming even more unleavened in our life with the character of God. You know, even when they were crossing through the Red Sea on this day, on the 7th holy day of unleavened bread, there's a lesson there that they should have carried with them the rest of the journey, and that's in Exodus 14 verse 13. Exodus 14 verse 13, the whole of Exodus 14 of course is speaking about them crossing through the Red Sea and about how Pharaoh's heart would be hardened and he would follow after them in verse 4. And in verse 5 the king of Egypt was told that they turned into the wilderness and that they would be entrapped in the wilderness. And in verse 9 of Exodus 14, but the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them and camped by the sea beside Pi-haroth before Baal-zephon. Verse 10, and when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them and were very sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. Notice what they did there? They cried out to the Lord. What